Good morning, secondary one. Good morning, secondary one. Inshallah, today we will starting physics sessions by starting first lesson, which is called, as I wrote in front of you, the physical measurement. Okay. First thing before anything, what is meant by measurement? You have a question. What is meant by measurement? We talked it before on the chemistry course. Measurement, it is a process, the meaning of the measurement, to compare the unknown quantity with another known quantity. Like the mass of an orange. When you said I have 5 kilograms of orange, what does it mean? That you have piece of iron which is wrote on it 5 kilogram. This is an iron. I know this quantity of the iron, 5 kilogram. Then you will put an orange. When they are in a balance, I mean that I have a 5 kilogram of an orange. So I compare the known quantity of the iron, which is 5 kilogram, with the unknown quantity, which is the orange. This is the meaning of the measurement. Again, what is meant by the measurement? It is the process of the comparing the unknown quantity, like the orange, by the known quantity, like the iron. Okay, how many points or the elements I need to make the measurement process? I have to know 3 main points to express the measurement of anything correctly. Number 1, I need something called the physical quantity. Like what the physical quantity? If I ask you from your previous studying in Prep 3, give me an examples of the physical quantities. Like, for example, mass is a physical quantities. What else? Volume is a physical quantities. And so on. All these are called physical quantities. So, when I want to measure something, I need to express this thing by the physical quantity. I will measure mass of the object, or I will measure the volume of an object, or I will, for example, I will measure the length of an object. So this is the one of the necessary elements or factor to know the measurement. Okay. For an example, I will measure the orange, the mass of the orange. So I know that my physical quantity is the mass. Okay. What will be the suitable tools I use to measure this quantity of an orange? For example, I will using the measuring cylinder, or I will use, for an example, the balance. So the second factor to determine the measurement of anything, that I will have to know the suitable measuring tools. What will be the suitable tool I use it? Third factor, I measure 5 mass of an orange by using the balance. What will be the unit for this quantity? We know that the mass will measure by the kilogram or gram. So the third factor will be the units of measurement. These 3 factors, they are called in our book elements necessary to measure anything. Physical quantity. Number 2, the suitable measuring tools. Number 3, units of measurement. Okay, today inshallah also we will talk in a detail about physical quantity, and also tomorrow about the measuring tools and the unit. We will take these 3 elements in detail. Let's now starting with the first factor, or the first element, which is the physical quantity. We have in the physical quantities two types, or they will be classified into 2 types. One of them which is called the fundamental physical quantities, and the other which is called the derived physical quantities. So the physical quantities are classified into fundamental or derived physical quantities. Let's talk about the fundamental physical quantity. Like what? Like, for example, length. Or mass of an object. Or time of an object. Why? Okay, what is meant also by the fundamental physical quantity? If we are talking about the length, we will observe that it will be defined in this term. What is meant? To measure the length is L. Its unit centimeter or meter. الماس by kilogram خلاص or gram. But for example, you have now 3 examples. If I write the volume, does volume is a fundamental? No. Why? Because to measure the volume, you will relate to the length. The volume of occupied, for example, it is the length time width time height. This is the measuring unit of the length is centimeter times centimeter times centimeter equals centimeter cube. So to measure the volume, you need the length like this. You relate to another physical quantity which is called the length to obtain the volume. So the meaning of the fundamental physical quantity, it is the physical quantity that cannot be defined in a term of another physical quantity. It will be defined not according to any physical quantity. So the derived physical quantities will be the opposite. Like the volume. What is meant by derived? It is a physical quantity that can be defined in a term of another physical quantity. Like the volume. I refer or return to another physical quantity to measure the volume of an object. This is the meaning or the difference between the fundamental, A, physical quantity, and the derived. You have to know the meaning and the examples of each of them. Now you have the units for the measurement. We know that the length measured by what? By centimeter or meter. And you know that the mass is measured by kilogram or gram. And the time is measured by seconds. In all the systems, even I'm talking about the metric system, or the French system, or the British system. So you have now 3 systems, which are the French system, number 1. You have the British system. And you have finally the metric system. We have length, mass, time. By French system, the measuring unit of the length is centimeter. In the British system, the measuring unit is a foot. And finally, metric system, the measuring unit of a length is meter. In a mass, by the French system, it is a gram. In the British, it is a pound. And in the metric system, they measure the mass by kilogram. Time in all systems, it is a second. You have to study hard this table in your book on page 3. Okay? I concentrate on page 3. Also you have another physical quantities. Here only we are talking about length, mass, time as an examples only for the physical quantities. But we have a lot of physical quantities like the length, time, electric current intensity, temperature, and all of these physical quantities, their international unit as we talk on the course of the chemistry. Finally, we are taking the units according to the international units. And this is a table on page 4 at your student book. Okay? Type. Let's take the second factor which affecting the measurement. We were said before. Physical quantities to the measurement tools. For an example, if you have a length as an example of physical quantity, what is the suitable tool to measure the length? By using ruler, it is right. Only? No. By using the meter tape. By using something called the micrometer. All these are tools to measure the length. طب I have a physical quantity mass. What will be the suitable instrument to measure the mass? The balance. You have a digital balance and so on. Okay? At the end of our session today, I want you to revise what I said and return it to the two tables found on page 4 and page 3. They are very easy and study them hard. Let's inshallah tomorrow to meet with the same time to continue our first lesson, which is called the physical measurement. Thank you, secondary one.